Hey you guys, what's up? I'm going to tell you today exactly where to start if you are ready to start changing your habits, you're ready to start, creating healthy habits, whether that be at the gym or with your food or with your, workouts. I'm going to tell you where to start even if you feel overwhelmed. So if we haven't met before, hi, my name is Snessa Shears. I'm a weight loss coach for women. I help women declutter their diets and drop their last 10 pounds by developing simple systems that we can stick to for life. That's exactly what I'm here to teach you guys today. So welcome. Let me know that you're here by dropping a hello in the comments or hitting like to let me know that you're here. All right, let's get started. So I have a free community on Facebook, and it's called She Takes Action. And often when, new members request to join, I love to ask them the question, like, what are you struggling with? Like, what is stopping you from getting started? And this week in particular, I have had an overwhelming response of women going, I am so overwhelmed with all the information, I don't know where to start. So many times I've been hearing the I don't know where to start. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you my exact 3 things that I would do if I could go back in time and if I had to start all over again with all the information out there, exactly where I'd start, in hopes that you can start taking action on these strategies today and get the ball moving. Because it's not about just absorbing and listening to these videos and getting motivated and fired up. It's about taking action on the tips that you hear. So I'm going to offer you a couple tips today, and I'm going to challenge you to pick one of them and execute it this week. Be strong in it and commit to seeing it through. So here's the thing I often find. When I get women that jump on and be like, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know where to start. What we're often looking for is someone to tell us, oh, you haven't heard of this thing? This thing over here that will solve all your problems and make it super easy? That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for someone to come up to us and share with us their magic pill that is going to make it easy. Some diet or plan or supplement that is going to make this whole lose your last 10 pounds thing super simple, even though you have no extra time. Well, here's the thing, and I always am super into being transparent because that's what's real. We want to be real here. And what is transparent and real is that it's not easy, and it is going to take actually taking actions. It is going to be taking your schedule that is busy and full, and I know you're working on your business or your career or with your kids, but finding those pockets of time where you can take small, consistent action over time, all right? So know that if you're out there looking for some big magic pill that is going to just make it easy, we have to, first of all, start being realistic and know that it is going to take a little bit of work, but it doesn't mean it can't be fun, and it doesn't mean it can't be enjoyable. So if I were to wind back in time, here's where I would start if I was completely overwhelmed and wanted to start getting healthy. So number 1, and this is the unsexy part that nobody wants to do, but the clients of mine that start out by doing this are the most successful, hands down. You need to spend 3 days writing down every single thing you put in your mouth. I also like to say this, everything in the BLT, all the bites, licks, and tastes, everything you put in your mouth for 3 days. Here's what I don't recommend. I don't recommend you do it at the end of 3 days. You write down what you ate for the last 3 days, or even at night. I want you to take out your phone, open up your Google Keep or whatever app you have on here, and I want you to be keeping a live track of what you put in your mouth for 3 straight days. There's 2 purposes to this. Number 1 is it makes you super aware of what you're eating, for one, because most of us eat unconsciously, meaning we eat, but we're not really recognizing when we're, taking an extra slice of cheese while we're making dinner, or we're popping some food off our kid's plate into our mouths. There are so many things that we don't realize what we're doing. So number 1, we want to bring awareness, our conscious mind, back to, oh my gosh, look what I'm eating and how often. The second reason I want you to start writing down everything you eat for 3 days before you take any other action is because I need you to see patterns. I need you to see where you're struggling, where your day falls apart, where you make your worst choices, because patterns will emerge in as short as 3 days. Just be honest with yourself. Write it down. You're the only one that has to see it. But at the end of 3 days, I want you to go back and I want you to be like, oh my gosh, every day around 3 p.m., I'm elbow deep in the office donuts, or every night at 7 o'clock, I'm unwinding with 3 glasses of wine. These patterns really start to emerge, and what they do is they set you up with knowing where to take action first. Because what we like to do is we like to just be like, let's change something right now, and you have no idea where to start. And that can be frustrating and overwhelming, and am I starting with the wrong thing? But by practicing some patience, take 3 days first to write down everything you're putting in your mouth, bite, licks, taste, everything. Then you can start making an accurate assessment of where to start first. That leads us into tip number 2. Now that you have your 3 days written down of what you've been eating, I want you to look at your plan and say, what one area, if I changed it right now, would make the biggest difference? And you remember how I said that those 3-day plans, they show up little patterns? Those are the patterns you're going to be looking for and seeking out. Those patterns like, oh my gosh, 3 p.m., I'm always eating even though I'm not hungry. Or my breakfasts are entirely sugar. You start to see these things. So you say, where can I make the biggest difference? So I wrote down 3 areas where I know when I did this is where I needed to go first. So maybe one of those areas you tackle is your snacking. So you know that lunch is around noon and dinner is around 6 o'clock. Or maybe your times are a bit different, but you notice you're snacking and nibbling and biting and eating and office cookies this and into the fridge that. Maybe the first area you want to improve is your snacking, and you know that if you cut your snacking out, you stopped eating when it wasn't a meal time and when you weren't sitting at a table, you know that that would make a big difference for you. Start there. That's a good one. Another one, like I said, those sugar bomb breakfasts. Actually take a look at what's in your breakfast after 3 days. If you're looking at it, and if all you're eating is things like yogurt and granola and cereal and oatmeal with fruit, well, I mean, while those might appear healthy on the surface, they're also all carbohydrates. And we're not demonizing carbohydrates, but we're looking to introduce more of a balance. So maybe you want to add some eggs in there to up your protein and your fat, or add in half a avocado, or maybe some vegetables, or maybe, put some chicken and some eggs into the frying pan and make a scramble. There are ways that you can make little improvements, all right? So we're looking at those small areas. The third way is maybe your food choices are medium. They're not terrible. You're not having McDonald's every day, but maybe you're not eating, as many vegetables as you like. Well, maybe we can just start to assess little things like, well, what if I just didn't eat when I wasn't hungry? Ooh, there's a really good one. So that might be an area where if you made a change there, it would make a massive difference for you if you just stopped eating when you weren't hungry. So those 3 ideas, maybe stop snacking between meals, sugar bombs for breakfast, and don't eat when you're not hungry. What one area, if you made a change, could make the biggest difference? I gave you some examples. The third thing I would do is if I was completely overwhelmed and did not know where to start, was I would think of, instead of thinking about taking things out, especially if you're overwhelmed and you're just starting out in this journey, instead of thinking like, well, I can't have sugar and I shouldn't have flour and I shouldn't have baked things and all of this, maybe ask yourself instead, what can I add in? Because here's the thing. On a hunger scale system, we can only have so much food before we start to feel nauseous. So instead of thinking of what can I pull out, maybe ask yourself, what can I add in? The way I like to approach this is with adding in vegetables. And I mean, so many of us don't get enough vegetables as it is. I like the idea of getting 10 fist sizes of vegetables in my day, but it didn't always start like that. I used to hate vegetables, and I used to eat vegetables maybe once every 2 days, to be quite honest, and this was something I learned to love over time. So maybe you're just like, where can I add in vegetables during my day? And I've got some strategies here if that's the route you want to go, but by adding in vegetables, it fills us up and leaves less room for the things that don't serve our bodies. So a really good way to go about this is like, can you, when you come home from the grocery store, cut up your vegetables ahead of time and put them in the fridge? Because I'm going to tell you something. When you are hungry or having a food craving, you know what you don't want to do? Get out your knife, your cutting board, wash your vegetables, cut up your cucumbers, cut up your peppers. You don't want to do that. You want to grab for something. And if you have stuff cut up, there's a way better chance you're going to eat it. There's a way better chance you're going to put it on your plate. So whether you're buying them pre-cut up or you cut them yourself, having pre-cut vegetables is an amazing way to add more vegetables in. The second way is creating a salad bar in your fridge. And I've talked about this before. It is one of my favorite ways to get more vegetables. When you're looking in your fridge and there's just like food wall, you know what I'm talking about? When it's just like stuffed and there's so much food in there and your vegetables all go bad. I like to create a salad bar. So every Friday when I get home from grocery shopping, I have my spinach and greens. Then what I do is I spend about 20 minutes cutting up all the vegetables I brought home so they are ready to go. And then just think of it like a buffet, you know, where you were to take a little bit of everything. That's what I do with my salad bar. I take a little bit of spinach, a little bit of peppers, a little bit of cucumbers, put some feta cheese in there, maybe get some broccoli slaw in there. And I have all of those things packaged up, ready to go, so I don't need to look or think. I just take the containers out of the fridge, put it in the bowl, and on my way. The last way that I bump veggies is I actually add spinach into all of my meals. And you'll notice if you follow me over on Instagram at Tanessa Shears, I post my salad photos that I have almost on a daily basis. And you'll notice the amount of spinach I have in my meals. The reason for this is, as soon as you put your food in the microwave, that spinach goes from like 3 cups of spinach, down to this. And so now I can get all the vitamins and nutrients, but in a much more condensed. So I'm adding more in. So if you are completely overwhelmed and you have no idea where to start and you want to lose your last 10 pounds, you want to feel good in your clothes, you want to just be able to pull on your jeans and have them do up without that struggle in the morning, I get it. I totally understand. So here are the 3 ways I want you to start. I'm going to go over them really quick. There's no easy pill. We're going to have to start from the beginning. Number 1, write down everything you eat for 3 days, all bites, licks, and tastes, so you can start to see the patterns and become aware of what you're putting in your mouth. Strategy number 2, pick the one area that if you improved it today would make the biggest difference, whether that be no snacking, a healthier breakfast, or, you know, just not eating when you're not hungry all the time. And then lastly, I want you to think about adding stuff in instead of taking stuff out. How could I add more vegetables to my day with the 3 strategies I just went over? If this is super helpful for you, I want you to comment below right now, and I want you to tell me which one of these strategies you are going to be implementing today, because overwhelm stops when you start taking action. So don't just sit here and listen and be like, oh my gosh, that's great. I want you to actually, this is what I'm going to do starting today so that I'm not overwhelmed. I do know where to start. I am smart. You can totally do this, all right? And once you started getting those, I want you to head over to TanessaShears.com/diet-makeover. I left the link in the description. And what I'm going to get you to do is click on that, because if you put in your name and your email, I'm going to send you my no BS guide to a total diet makeover. It's completely free, and it's got my top 2 strategies for dropping your last 10 pounds simple and effectively. This will really give you a kick in the pants if you want to know where to start. But these 3 strategies are what are going to get you moving. I hope this has been super helpful for you. Don't forget to hit like if this video was like, yes, this is what I needed, and share it with a friend if you know someone that could really benefit from just that little push to get going and to start to feel amazing in her body. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.